Hello dearies, how are you doing? And how is the preparation towards interview going? I hope it's going wonderful. Okay, I hope you are practicing your questions. Okay, all right. So in today's video, I want us to look at interview scoring, how you'll be scored in your interview, how to get the best mark possible, and the things that some of the things that are in your control that you can do to make sure that you are getting all the marks that you deserve. Okay, so let's dive right in. Admission interviews help the school to decide if you are a good fit for their school. And one way of doing that is to score you, because numbers speak volume. Okay, so if we set the standard, we are scoring you over 100, and we say, okay, past mark is 80. So it becomes easier for us to select the best students, because if after everything you didn't get the 80, I'm not saying that the interview score is 80, but I'm just giving you an idea of why you will be scored in your interview. If they set a pass mark and you're able to get the pass mark, it becomes easy for them to separate those who will get admission from those who will not get admission. I hope you get it. It's just like WASI. When you wrote WASI and you got a C6, that is why you're able to apply for diploma. And if you had D7, you know that you can't apply for diploma. The same at the comment. The same from exams from primary to JHS. Scoring numbers speak a lot. So in your interview, you also be scored based on a number of things, and some of these things is what I want us to look at so that you prepare well towards those ones. Some of them are easy to grasp, and some of them you have to do the work to be able to get those marks. Okay, so in your interviews, number one, they will be looking at your appearance. Yes, appearance matters a lot in your interview. I have a video on how to dress, the dress code for an interview. I'll link it at the end of this video for you to watch and get an idea of how well you should dress for your interview. Every interview scores appearance, because the way you present yourself speaks volumes about you. So your appearance matters, and getting your appearance together is an easy mark you can get. If they are scoring appearance over 2 points, you know that appearance there, the killing no, and the attention. Appearance is easy to get. So let's look at how you can be scored on your appearance. So let me share this sample scoring sheet with you. So this scoring sheet is scoring from 1 to 4. 1 is let's start from 4. 4 is the highest mark. For you to be given 4 marks, which is the highest mark, your overall appearance is very neat. Okay, very neat. Choice in clothing is appropriate for any job interview. It's a professional interview you are going for. In nursing, after nursing school, we don't do interview before we are employed. So your nursing school interview is the only interview you do before getting into nursing or midwifery. Then after that, you go for your promotion interviews and all. So you have to dress professionally for your interview and look neat, well put together, very well groomed, hair, makeup, clothes, pressed, etc. And then for a score of 3, overall neat appearance. Choice in clothing is acceptable for the type of interview. Very well groomed. So you see the 4 is using very well groomed, but 3 is saying well groomed, shirt tucked in. Okay, jewelry blends with clothing, minimal wrinkles. So your shirt has to be well ironed, and even if you wear jewelry, if you're a lady, your necklace, your earring, it's okay. Don't go and put any hideous necklace on your neck, anklets and bracelets. No, if you wear something on your wrist, it should be a wristwatch, and that is the end of it. And you look put together. Okay, let's look at 1, which is the worst. Overall appearance is untidy. Choice in clothing is inappropriate for any job interview. Torn or unclean, wrinkled, poor grooming. Just say wow, it's nothing give you. Just say ubaya keke. They will give you 1. Okay. All right. Another way you'll be scored is your speech and your mannerism. Your mannerism. When you walked in, did you greet the panelists? If it's a mixture of men and women, just say good morning. If it's in the morning, just say good morning. If you have to curtsy a little, you know, if you're a guy, good morning. Okay. If it's just all women, you can say good morning, ma'ams. Then you stand there and wait. Okay, but if the sexes are mixed, don't say madam. No, just say good morning or good afternoon, and you wait for their response, and you wait for them to offer you seats. When you get to somebody's house, they have to tell you to sit down or have a seat before you have a seat. Don't just go and you drag the seat. No, when you get there, they'll position the seat in a way. Just go and sit on it like that. Don't go and drag seats to readjust it and sit. So they can score you for communication. How are you able to talk? How is your communication like? So let's look at communication. From 4, if you score 4 on this score sheet, you are very attentive, appropriate use of sentence structure and grammar. Grammar is proper brafo. Commitment and enthusiasm for job is conveyed. So when you are talking, are you attentive? Do you listen to the question well before you jump in to answer? Do you listen to the question well before you jump in to answer? Do you use proper English? And this one, sometimes you may be finding it difficult to express yourself because English is not our first language, okay? So it's understandable sometimes. So sometimes the tutor, the interviewer will try to help you more and speak one of the local languages. Maybe you can speak Twi. The person can ask you a question in Twi. Don't respond with English. You now, bre. You're saying boy, you're saying boy. You are still doing guy. Don't go and do guy. But it's common courtesy that if somebody perceives that you can speak a language and they talk to you in that language, you respond in that language. You don't respond with a different language unless the language the person is trying to speak is a language you can't speak. So you can prompt the person that, oh, I understand what you are saying, but I can't speak the language well, so I would want to respond in English, but I can't speak the language well. So then the person can reframe the question in English for you to respond to. I hope that is clear, okay? Because communication is key. Commitment and enthusiasm for the job is conveyed. So you want to be a nurse. Like, your enthusiasm should show that you are really interested in the job. You know what nursing is about. You've done your research, and so you are just here to show you. For the lower points, which is point 1, presentation shows lack of interest. Facts about job not included. Volume is inappropriate for interview. Example, spoke too loudly or too softly. As if you are at the beach, as if you are on the beach, or speak so softly. We can't hear you and you're still speaking softly. If you are confident enough, you will talk at a normal tone for everybody to understand. And if you've not done your research, well, this is where they will get you, that you didn't do your research, so you don't know much about nursing, you don't know much about midwifery. You are just here because maybe somebody asked you to come. Yeah, you better mark. All right. Now, they are also looking at your responsiveness, your comprehension, your understanding of questions before you answer. So here they can score you based on the clarity of your answers and how you're able to comprehend. So for clarity, they can say for the highest mark, all answers were clear and comprehensible. We understand what you are saying. We understand. You understood the question and you were able to answer correctly. Okay. 1. Most answers were unclear, difficult to understand message of what is being said, and mumbling. Mumbling is and so you are saying words, but we can't hear the distinct words you are saying to form an impression about you. You are mumbling, you are talking undertone, and that is mumbling. So, and with comprehension, you are able to understand, you are able to comprehend all questions and give appropriate response. When they ask you a question, you understand it and you are able to answer it the way it's expected of you. And a low mark will be you are unable to comprehend most questions. Questions has to be repeated and simplified to elicit response. But here, I don't want you to feel like, oh, comprehension, I want to get all the answers, and so even when you don't understand the question, you just continue answering. No. So for this one, let's look at the in between 2 and 3. For score 2, able to comprehend some questions. Question has to be repeated or simplified occasionally to elicit response. Okay, you see, it's not all of your questions that you're able to comprehend very well, but some of them, they have to re-echo it or simplify it for you before you're able to answer. This one is better than you not comprehending all of your questions. So all of your questions, they have to simplify it, repeat it, reframe it before you are able to give them a response on it. Okay. And the 3 is able to comprehend most questions. Responses were appropriate for the most part. So it's okay to ask for clarity in your questions, because if you ask me a question that I don't understand, I'd rather ask for clarity so that I give the appropriate response than to keep quiet and deviate totally. If you don't get 4, you can get 3, you can get 2. It's still better than 1. Okay. All right. They are going to look at your body language or your self-confidence. Do you exude confidence? Confidence is key when it comes to interview. Are you talking like someone who knows him or herself? You're able to express yourself confidently. Your temperament is showing that you are enthusiastic or you are confident. You believe in yourself. That's self-confidence. You believe in yourself that this is where you are supposed to be. Nursing is the job you are supposed to do. Midwifery is the job you are supposed to do. Can you exhibit that? If you are not able to exhibit that, let's look at body language. For body language, for the highest number, no fidgeting. No fidgeting. Eye contact made. Sitting straight in chair. Hey, so body language. So the things you do whilst you're answering your question. Are you fidgeting? Maybe your folder is on you and you are just doing this, or you're playing with your hands. You don't know where to put your hand. Like you fidgeting counts when you are not comfortable. Okay, when you're not comfortable, when you're not confident in what you're saying, that's where you fidget. And you don't make eye contact when you are telling lies or when you're not confident about what you're saying. It's like when you make eye contact, it seems the person will detect the lie. It's okay to be shy. Sometimes you are shy to look straight into somebody's eye, but one trick I have learned is that just look a little. If I'm looking a little, this is my camera, okay? This is this is the lens, okay? This is the lens. But if I don't want to look inside the lens, I'll look a little just on the edge of the whole camera, okay? So now I'm looking at the top of the camera, but you still think I'm looking into your eyes. No be so. So you make eye contact, okay? Make eye contact when when you enter the room. You might minimum you have 3 panelists minimum, because in every decision making the people involved in any decision making has to be an odd number. So minimum you see 3 people on the panel so that decision making can be easy. Sometimes you see a 4th person, but the 4th person is mostly there to assist in collecting documents and all of that. So yeah, but minimum 3 people. So when you sit and they are asking you questions, if this person, like they are seated in front of you 3, if one person is asking questions from this side, you don't turn your whole body, but you turn your head towards that person and look towards that person's face. Okay, you make eye contact, you look at the person's face whilst she is asking you a question. And then when you are answering, even though you are answering for all of them to hear, you talk more to the person who asks you the question, and occasionally you can look here but back to the person who asks you the question, because you are answering that person. And then when another person asks you from this angle, you turn your face and look at that person too, and then you maintain your eye contact whilst talking and when they are asking you questions. And it shows you are confident enough, because if I'm here to talk about myself, what is there to worry? And the way your posture, the way you sit, okay, the way you sit. See, this, my chair is a high chair. If I'm seated but I'm not leaning, okay, see, I'm not leaning. If I lean, I'll become relaxed. See how relaxed I am. But when I sit like this, I'm seated up straight, I'm not leaning totally at the back. You have to go all the way back, but don't lean and my baby, no, baby. So the back is kind of helping you to assume a straight position. So you are seated, but you are seated upright, you are not leaning and all relaxed. So let's look at the worst mark, which is 1, fidgeted. Example, constant movement of hands and feet, lack of eye contact. You are not able to make eye contact with your interviewers, and slouching all the time. I say, no, what's it? It doesn't speak well. And they'll look at how you respond to questions. So here, the highest mark is thorough answer to questions. You are able to answer your questions well, clearly. Or the lowest mark is inappropriate answers to questions, or sometimes they did not attempt to answer questions at all. And then the in-between answers, like the number 3, answers are acceptable and accurate. Answers questions. The 3 is saying you've not answered the question up to the standard they want, but it's an acceptable answer. They like it. It's okay. The 2 is giving inaccurate answer, but you are attempting to answer the question, but sometimes you are off task, we deviate. And these ones can be, so it's a mixture. So if they ask you about 5 questions in the interview, they would say overall, are you able to answer your questions well, very well, thoroughly with answers? Oh yes, she did well. Or well, her answers are acceptable and accurate, so yeah, we'll give her 3 for that. Or gives inaccurate answers, attempts to answer questions but deviates. You have money 2. We call their inappropriate answers to questions, did not attempt to answer questions. And unayama 1. Okay, so the way you respond to your questions also matters. And then asking questions in your interview. If they give you the opportunity to ask a question, did you ask a question? Prepare at most 3 questions you want to ask, and I'll link a video to the type of questions you can ask in your interview at the end of this video for you to watch, so that you know how which kind of questions you can ask in your interview. So the lowest mark, no question asked. Do you have any question for us? No. Thank you. Bye-bye. Which was 0 or 1. And student asked questions that were not related to the job. That is mark 2. So they ask if you have a question for them, and you're asking questions outside of nursing, outside of the school. No. Well, besides, you've asked a question, but it's non-fact. And they can give you a 3rd mark, mark 3, for ask question relating to the desired position. You ask question relating to general nursing if you are there for a general nursing interview, or you ask question relating to the school. And then the fourth mark is asked questions relating to the desired position. Evidence is shown that the applicant had researched the business or career field. Okay, so in my research I learned that this and that. So does it mean this and that? In my research, or I would like to know so and so, because in my research so and so now it appears that okay, this person actually did some research about the job. Okay, now scoring this, I'm not saying that this is the standard, but I'm saying these are some of the things they will look out for in your job, in your nursing interview. They can decide to score you based on questions. So if we ask you, tell me about yourself, how did you talk about yourself, we can score you from 1 to 5, 1 to 10, depending on what the school wants. So they can score you on question based, they can score you on category based. Like in my video about interview questions and answers, I categorize them. So they can say general questions, you score this. Questions about ethics, you score this. Questions about current affairs, you score this. Okay, so the school can decide to score according to their will, but on a general note, these are some of the things they are looking for. And some of them that you can easily pick up: your appearance. There, what cry I won't understand. What appearance I won't understand. Your mannerism. Why will you get there and not greet? Did you forget? Why did you greet? Why won't you wait for them to offer you a seat before you sit down? Why did you drag the chair? Okay, the baseline is, don't let anxiety make you do things that you don't want to do in your interview. The interview is only to get to know you. They are just there to get to know you. So bring your best self forward and have a successful interview. I hope this video was helpful. Like it, share, and subscribe if you've not done that yet. And I wish you all the best in your nursing interviews. Bye.